Are you a surfer looking to learn how to foil surf, but you don't know where to start? You don't know what any of this stuff is? You're in the right spot. In this video, I'm going to break down exactly what you need to get for your first foil setup, set you up for success. Stay tuned. At first glance, it might seem like surfing and foiling are similar, but trust me, beyond paddling and being in the water, it's a completely different game. It's actually more like snowboarding or skateboarding, where heel-to-toe movement and subtle ankle adjustments matter. So if you've got surfing experience, great, but get ready to throw that muscle memory out the door and learn from scratch. So first, what is a hydrofoil? A hydrofoil is pretty much an airplane for underneath the water. You got your front wing. This provides lift. You got your fuselage. This is what connects. And you got your tail, which is your stabilizer. That all connects to this mast, which then connects to a board. Buying a foil, cost and considerations. Buying your first foil setup can be intimidating. You got so many different brands, so many different styles, and a lot of opinions out there. Foiling isn't cheap, and as the sport grows, equipment is getting better, which means more expensive. A longboard can set you back roughly $2,000, a shortboard $600, averaging $1,300 for a surfboard. An entry-level foil setup, board, mast, front wing, fuse, and tail can range anywhere from $2,300 to $4,300. And why such a range? Well, materials matter. For instance, this is ultra high modulus carbon. This is extremely light, extremely stiff, super durable. This is some of the best stuff you can get. Buying used gear, red flags. If it seems too good to be true, it unfortunately probably is. Unlike surfboards with dings, foil parts may have internal structural damage that you cannot see and you would not know. Things like cracks in the mast, which affect stiffness and safety. Check for any play between the mast and the board. If it's loose, you're looking at wobbly and unsafe rides. And don't trust a DIY fix unless you're absolutely sure the person knows what they're doing. If you're going to buy a used rig, ideally, get it from a shop or someone reputable. Choosing the right foil board. Rob Machado said it best, foam is your friend. A lot of those tiny boards you see elite riders on, not ideal for a beginner. Odds are, those riders started with bigger boards too. For example, I'm 145 pounds, 5'8". I might have a few back injuries, so I actually decided to start off with a 40-liter, 5-foot board and a 1,200 square centimeter front wing. Here's a quick guide for beginners. 4 foot 10 inches, right around 40 liters, to 6 foot, right around 60 liter range. Make sure it's not too narrow. Anything under 18.5 inches is a little narrow. You want room for your feet. Mid-length boards, similar to mid-length in surfing, are the best for learning to foil, because they are incredibly forgiving and ideal for those with lower back issues or hip issues. I personally find this shape a huge benefit. And the reason why is bigger boards give you more stability, which makes it a lot easier to pop up, especially when learning how to foil. Downwind boards or SUP boards are not ideal for learning how to prone foil. They actually have too much volume and makes it super weird to paddle into waves, and especially once you're up on foil, makes it very hard to control. Some wingboards like this one can work because it is under 23 inches wide, which makes paddling manageable. Front foil selection. Your first foil will not be your last, and that's okay. Foiling is like surfing in that you'll build a quiver over time, except your quiver is different front foils for different conditions. Aspect ratio. Ideally, you want your aspect ratio right around the 7 to 9 range for a mix of lift and efficiency. Surface area for beginner, roughly 1,200 to 2,000 square centimeters, or 186 to 310 inches. Here's a chart you can use for your rider weight and beginner foil area. Here's a tip for you. You might think that you're going to outgrow your front wing, but in reality, you might end up using it for other disciplines such as downwind foiling or winging. Mast selection for surf foiling, I personally recommend anything between 70 and 75 centimeters. It's a sweet spot between clearance and control. Ideal for spots with a lot of sandbars and also really good for deep water. Fuselage and tail selection. Your fuse connects your front wing to your foil. A longer fuselage equals more stability, making it ideal for learning. A shorter fuselage equals livelier, great for pumping and tight turns. But when beginning, it's best to stay right around the middle. Stabilizers or tails, they matter. Here's a chart for tail area recommendations. Another tip, a bigger tail equals stability, an easier pump, and forgiving in turns. Mast positioning and tuning for beginners. Moving the mast forward makes the foil lift earlier and respond quicker. This can be too twitchy when you're just learning. Moving the mast closer to the tail gives you a more predictable, stable feel. Perfect when you're just trying to get comfortable hovering over the water. For beginners, I suggest starting with the mast slightly toward the tail, which gives you more control and slower and smoother lift, and makes it much easier to learn how to balance. Using the numbered track guide. Most boards have numbers or markings, like -2, -1, 0, +1, +2, to help you remember where your mast is set. Final tip for beginners, make sure to move the mast position in small increments, 1/2 to 1 inch, until you find a spot where you can hover just above the water. This lets you focus more on the body position, foot placement, and weight distribution, making your first rides feel much more stable and enjoyable. Safety gear and lessons are probably the most important part of your learning experience. Even if you've been surfing your whole life, foiling introduces new dynamics that deserve new precautions. Invest in the right safety gear, and if possible, spend a session with a coach or instructor. The learning curve becomes smoother and risk of injury goes down, and your long-term stoke goes way up. So, impact vests. A lot can happen when you're learning how to foil. You're higher than you normally are, and you're on top of something that is sharp and moving way faster than you know how to control. An impact vest protects your spine, your ribs, and vital organs. Just get one. Your head is your most valuable piece of equipment, so protect it. Don't be a dingus, just get a helmet. Your foil is an investment not only in equipment, but also in your own life. There would be nothing more embarrassing than being told not to come back to your local spot because something happened, you weren't wearing a leash. Trust me, wear a leash, respect the ocean, stay away from surfers, and learn in that weird, funky little sandbar that no one wants to touch. And lessons, and I get it, you shred. You're doing reversal airs, you're getting barreled, but it's nothing like foiling. Do yourself the favor, invest in yourself, and I guarantee you, you will have a better session every single time. A lesson is the best way to learn how to foil. Whether it's in the surf, behind a boat, or with a foil drive, or some sort of e-foil. All right, we've talked all about protecting yourself, but now let's talk about protecting your gear, like getting a board bag. Get a board bag or cover, protect your rails and nose from dings when transporting. Rinse everything. Always rinse your mast, fuselage, and wings with fresh water after a session, especially in salt water. Check for cracks or damage. Regularly inspect the mast tracks and connections. Even tiny cracks can lead to bigger problems down the line. Transport smart. Don't toss your foil into a truck bed uncovered. Use a proper bag or blanket for protection. Remember, it's not just about keeping your gear looking new. It's about making sure it performs well every session. Final thoughts. Learning to foil is an investment in equipment, time, and yourself. It's worth starting on the right equipment, moving at a comfortable pace, and enjoying every step of the way. If you have any questions, reach out to us in the comments or hit us up directly. You can check out our website, www.greenhatkiteboarding.com. We've ridden every single piece of gear in the shop. We're ready to set you up for success, and we're here for you. Happy foiling, and I hope to see you out there.